I thought it was just a job. Sell tickets, guide people in, watch them leave. But the night I worked the closing shift at the fun house, I found out just how wrong I was. You've heard the rumors about carnivals, right? That they hide dark secrets. Well, let me tell you, they're true. That summer, I took the job for the paycheck. It wasn't glamorous, but it was easy enough. I was assigned to the fun house, the carnival's main attraction. The whole thing was a bit creepy, a grinning clown face at the entrance, warped mirrors, spinning tunnels, but it was just a ride, or so I thought. The fun house was a hit with kids and adults alike. Every night, dozens of people went in, and almost all of them came out laughing. Almost. I started noticing something strange after a few weeks. People would come out, slower. Quieter. Like something inside had shaken them. And sometimes, the numbers didn't add up. I told myself it was just miscounting. I mean, it's loud, chaotic, and easy to lose track. But one night, I couldn't ignore it anymore. That night, everything changed. It was late, almost closing time, when a young couple showed up. They handed me their tickets and walked in, arm in arm. I kept an eye on the entrance, waiting for them to come out. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. The fun house wasn't that big, it should have taken them 3 minutes, tops. Something felt off. I waited a little longer, but they still didn't come out. That's when I decided to check it out myself. Big mistake. The place was completely still. No giggles, no footsteps, nothing. It felt wrong. Like I wasn't supposed to be there. That's when I saw it. A seam in the wall I hadn't noticed before. It didn't belong. I pushed against it and it swung open like a door, revealing a dark staircase leading down. The fun house wasn't supposed to have a basement. But there it was, waiting for me. The stairs seemed to go on forever, spiraling deeper into the earth. The air grew colder, and the smell, God, the smell, was like rusted metal and decay. At the bottom, I found a massive underground room. It looked ancient, with stone pillars and an altar in the center. But they weren't mannequins. They were the couple. Frozen, stiff as statues, their eyes wide with terror. Before I could move, I heard it, a low growl coming from the shadows. Something was down there with us. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't human. It lunged at me, and I ran. I didn't think. I just ran. The police came the next day. I told them everything. They went down into the basement but found nothing. No couple, no creature, no room. Just a solid concrete floor. They said I must have imagined it. But I know what I saw. I quit the carnival after that. The fun house has been closed ever since. But every now and then, I hear rumors, about people going missing, about strange noises at night. I don't know what's down there. All I know is, I'll never go back. They say the fun house is the highlight of the carnival. For me, it became a nightmare I'll never forget. It started as a harmless joke, a quick trip for cheap thrills. But what happened inside? I can't explain it. I can't even believe it myself. All I know is, I'll never set foot in a carnival again. Amanda always loved scary stuff. Haunted houses, horror movies, urban legends, you name it. So when we got to the carnival, she made a beeline for the fun house. I wasn't thrilled. I've never been a fan of tight spaces or creepy clowns. But Amanda? She lived for this stuff. At first, it was exactly what I expected, warped mirrors, spinning tunnels, flashing lights. Cheesy jump scares. I even started to relax. But then Amanda got ahead of me. I turned a corner, and she was gone. I called her name again and again, but she didn't answer. The fun house suddenly felt bigger, like the walls had stretched and the paths had changed. The air was heavy, like I was walking into something I wasn't supposed to see. There was something wrong with the mannequins. They weren't just plastic, they had tiny details. Wrinkles, veins, even freckles. Too real. Too human. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe it was a trick of the light. But I felt eyes on me, watching, following. Every mirror I passed seemed to hold something just out of view, a shadow that wasn't mine. A figure that disappeared the moment I turned to look. I should have turned back. I should have run. But I couldn't leave Amanda. I kept going, even as the whispers got louder, closer. They weren't coming from the speakers anymore. They were coming from the walls. I finally found her. She was just standing there, perfectly still. At first, I felt relief. But then I noticed how wrong it was. She didn't turn when I called her name. She didn't even flinch. Something wasn't right. Her movements were stiff, unnatural, like a puppet on strings. And her shadow, it didn't match. It was taller, stretched, and it moved on its own. Then the lights went out. I couldn't see anything, but I could feel her there. And I could feel something else. Breathing. Too close. There was something behind her. I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't human, but it wasn't entirely there. It felt like looking at a nightmare, like my brain couldn't fully process what I was seeing. I didn't think. I just grabbed her and ran. The walls seemed to close in around us, twisting and shifting, trying to trap us inside. I could feel it chasing us, its breath on the back of my neck. We made it out, but Amanda didn't say a word. Her face was pale, her hands trembling. I asked her what she saw, but she just shook her head. Whatever happened in there, she didn't want to remember. I don't know what we walked into that night. Something old, something wrong. The fun house is still there, still open, still drawing people in. I hear the whispers sometimes, even now. Calling me back. But I'm never going back. Summer jobs are supposed to be boring. But what started as a simple gig at a carnival turned into the most chilling experience of my life. People went in, and some never came out. And when I decided to uncover the truth behind the fun house, I found something that still haunts my nightmares. It was the summer before my senior year of college. I needed cash for textbooks and gas, so I took a job at a local carnival in downtown LA. It wasn't much, just a lot of chaos, noise, and long shifts, but there was something magical about the atmosphere. My job was simple: manage the fun house. Guide people in, make sure they had fun, and watch them leave. Easy, right? But the fun house wasn't just the main attraction, it was something else entirely. A secret I was never supposed to uncover. It started small. I'd count a group of 10 people going in, but only 9 would come out. At first, I thought I was bad at counting. It's easy to lose track when there's so much noise and movement. But then, I noticed her. She didn't look like she belonged at the carnival, like she had stepped out of a different time. Her smile was warm, but her eyes were cold. She handed me her ticket, walked inside, and disappeared into the darkness. That's when everything changed. She didn't come out. Group after group emerged, laughing and chattering, but she was nowhere to be found. Something wasn't right. I couldn't shake the feeling that something, or someone, was hiding in that house. I decided to break the rules. I abandoned my post and went inside to look for her. The air was heavy, and the smell, it was damp, metallic, like rusted iron and something else I couldn't place. I wasn't sure what I was expecting, but a hidden door. That wasn't part of the house tour. My heart pounded as I stepped into the hallway, using my phone's flashlight to guide me. The deeper I went, the worse the smell became. I told myself it was just an old, forgotten part of the attraction, until I found the ladder. The fun house didn't have a basement. At least, that's what I was told. But there it was, a ladder leading straight down into the unknown. And then, I saw it, a white purse lying at the base of the ladder. The blonde woman's purse. I didn't want to go down there. Every instinct screamed at me to turn back, but I couldn't leave her. The purse was proof she'd been here, and maybe she was still alive. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Fast, erratic, getting closer. I turned and ran, but I wasn't alone. A figure appeared, a woman, clutching her side, gasping for breath. She was pale, shaking. I asked her what happened, but her answers didn't make sense. She claimed she didn't remember how she ended up there, just that there were voices, whispers calling her deeper into the tunnels. The police came the next day. They found something I still can't wrap my head around, an entrance to the underground tunnels from the Prohibition era. Smugglers used them to hide illegal goods and other things. I quit the carnival after that. I still wonder if the owner knew about those tunnels. About what, or who, was down there. And that blonde woman? I never saw her again. Sometimes, I think she wasn't running away from something in the dark. She was running toward it. So if you ever visit a carnival and see a fun house, be careful. You never know what might be hiding behind the walls.